If only Chip Ganassi had been born some 100 years earlier, there's no doubt he would have been a most successful riverboat gambler. You know, one of those guys who always manages to pull an ace out of his sleeve.
I think you're trying to buy it. Ace?
At just the right moment. Right from the start, Chip was street smart. Always went for it. After some early success driving Formula Ford and IMSA cars, he decided it was time to up the ante and enter the Indianapolis 500. And I think he even surprised himself by being the fastest rookie qualifier in 1982. He soon began to show some real talent behind the wheel as an IndyCar driver, scoring podium finishes at Laguna Seca and Las Vegas. Then he had what you might call a life-changing moment at over 200 miles an hour at Michigan International Speedway. Chip quickly recovered and returned to driving, but like any smart riverboat gambler, he realized that there's a time to hold them and there's a time to fold them.
Well, I would hope that he would give it up. As a mother, I don't want to see him on that track again.
I supported Chip in his endeavor to drive because he was going to drive anyhow.
And perhaps now was the time to shift his focus from being a driver to being a team owner. With sage advice from his dad, Floyd, a successful Pittsburgh businessman, Chip figured out right from the start that a race team has to be run like a business. That is, if it's going to succeed. So he first gained some valuable management experience with the 1989 championship-winning Patrick IndyCar team. The next year, he founded Chip Ganassi Racing, with sponsorship from an energetic young department store chain, Target. It took a while for success to come. In fact, it was 4 long years before Michael Andretti scored the team's first victory in Australia. But along the way, Chip learned a key lesson. You're never going to beat Roger Penske by trying to out-Penske the captain. You've got to play a different hand, and that meant going with your gut, being a riverboat gambler. He took huge risks, switching engine suppliers, chassis builders, and tyre companies, all to gain that unfair advantage. He also launched a NASCAR team with Felix Sabates, along with an IMSA Daytona prototype team. And he gambled by hiring unknown drivers like Jimmy Vasser, Alex Zanardi, Juan Montoya, Scott Dixon, and Kyle Larson, to name a few. And he also hired a somewhat over-the-hill Scotsman with an Italian name. That seemed to work out pretty good. His secret? Being totally upfront with his drivers. And I mean totally upfront.
He looks those guys right between the eyes and he sizes up where they are.
Chip doesn't continue to praise you, but when you have a bad weekend, he's one of the first guys that'll call and tell you that it's going to be okay and we're going to work through it and to move on to the next race.
And that's what I love about Chip. I mean, he's refined when he needs to be, he's raw when he needs to be, he's very focused on doing a job, and that job is going racing.
Chip even tested the waters as a potential Hollywood movie star with this memorable performance in the blockbuster film, Driven.
Everybody's off the pace. Bly and Tanto are coming on strong. It's incredible. I can't believe it. Tanto's out of it. Don't worry about Tanto.
Fortunately, he decided to stick with his day job, because it all came together for the Ganassi teams. And boy, did he go on a roll.
Here he goes, and he gets him! Alex Zanardi with a brilliant move. Takes the checkered flag.
He's been stellar on the super speedways.
Jamie McMurray wins at Talladega.
Juan Montoya wins the 84 Indianapolis 500.
Scott Dixon drives Target. Chip Ganassi racing into victory lane. Dario Franchitti is back, and he is a champion.
There is no stopping that Telmex BMW Riley.
We are the champions.
Checkered flag in the air. The 52nd Daytona 500 to Jamie McMurray.